Hi YouTubers, whoever's watching. I'm just calling to post in my review of my trip to Iceland. And seeing as I got back last night actually, I'm still a little bit tired, so please excuse any lapses in uh, brain connection to mouth, etc. Anyway, so I flew over to Iceland and I flew back with Icelandair, which is basically like the largest airline in the country, and they definitely have a monopoly, so it's pretty hard to find really, really cheap flights. But somehow I got there and back for around 700 and change American dollars, and who was from New York to Iceland and then back. And on my way over, I was very, very lucky. I got 3 seats to myself, so I had pretty much like a miniature bed, and I slept relatively nicely on the way over. But on the way back, I did end up with a couple next to me, so I was stuck in the window. It was still very nice. I got to see Greenland. I took some cool pictures, and I might insert some if I can figure out how to do that. And I sat next to this really nice couple who's in a band called High Life Wedding, and they're on their way back from London. But so plane ride was nice, fairly smooth, not a lot of turbulence. The only downfall I would say is that they don't feed you with Icelandair. You can purchase food. On the way back, I think I got like a twisted donut, which is an Icelandic pastry that I failed to try when I was over there because I was very busy trying all of the other famous Icelandic delicacies. So I was like, all right, well, I have to try it at least now before I go back because it's still Icelandic and they do make it in Iceland. So I got that on the way back, and it wasn't that much. It was like 350 kronas for one donut, which was like this big. And I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it's not. It's approximately like $1.50, maybe $2 American, and probably like $1.50. Excuse me, sorry. And so I didn't have food on the way there. Luckily, they do let you bring snacks, so I brought over like a tiger's milk bar, and I brought a bag of I brought a bag of seeds and nuts. So I had my raw trail mix, which was raw pumpkin seeds and raw unsalted almonds, and I had a few cherry flavored craisins in there for sugar. I had that on the way over. And I was fine. I wasn't really hungry. I mean, I brought way more than I could eat as an in-flight snack. Obviously, I still have the trail mix left over, and I brought other bars too. But it's only like a 5.5 hour flight if you're coming from the East Coast, maybe 6 hours if you're coming from further down. So it's not unmanageable, and at the very worst, you can purchase some food. They do give you free drinks, and they give you Icelandic soda and Icelandic water, which I was particularly excited about because when I don't have my fluoride, sorry, when I don't have my fluoride filtering water bottle with me in the States, I will go and, like, if I'm going to buy bottled water, I will buy Icelandic water, and it's very, very expensive. I think it's like $4 or $5 a bottle here, and so they're giving it out on the plane. And I was so excited to start my trip off that way with free expensive water. And so they have that, and they give you this nice orange soda that's Icelandic, which I took because there's this special Icelandic drink that involves malt extract and this orange soda, and it's really traditional, and the family I visited gave it to me on New Year's Eve. So it's a pretty big Icelandic beverage. My lip is cracking. Anyway, so this is more of a review of my time couch surfing, I guess, and apparently my time on a plane. And and I have to say it was very safe. I still have both of my kidneys. You want to see? See? No surgical incisions. And I was not killed. Nothing bad happened to me. I ended up actually getting better deals on trips because my host was an employee for the major, like the most large travel company in Iceland. So I wouldn't say that's a standard. You wouldn't always get special discounts or free trips, but that was the case for my trip, and it was really nice. Also, my host loved to cook, another really lucky thing, and so he made me have all of these weird Icelandic traditional dishes, and they were very good. Of course, I did end up going out, and I went out almost every night sometimes with my host, sometimes with other people that I'd met in Iceland, and my host family as well. And I have to say it's very interesting, the nightlife in Iceland, because here in New York, people will go out. If you might go out around 9 or 10, and if you go out around 9, you might be the only one at the pub or club or wherever you're going, because usually people don't start going out until like 10 or 11. But I went out at midnight or 11:30 in Iceland, and it was completely empty, and that was like their version of our 9 o'clock. And the clubs and the pubs and the bars don't fill up until around 1, and then they get kind of crowded for Iceland. And so it's a much later schedule, and the places also close a bit earlier than some of the places here in New York. They will usually stay out until like 4:30. I think New Year's I got home at 8 in the morning, but that was partially because we ended up having to get someone to drive us back, so it took a bit longer. And because I did stay I was staying with a host, so I wasn't in the touristy part of the city. I was in a residential area, so that was a bit different. But so if you do go out there, you will be going out much later, and you'll be most likely going home around 4, or you'll be leaving the pub or the bar or the club, wherever you're going. You'll probably be leaving around 4, because it's just it's a lot stricter, and they're very adamant about closing around that time. And so there's that. And a lot of people in the States like to drink a little bit if they're driving. I know all of my family does. They'll have maybe a drink or so. But in Iceland, it's very different. Almost everyone who I hung out with who was driving would not touch anything, because they have a zero tolerance policy there. So while in America, you might be able to have a drink or two and you can still get home, and if you get pulled over for something, you're not going to be arrested, or you're not going to be taken in or anything like that. And we have a minimum here where it's like 0.02% to 0.07 would be a DUI, which is driving under the influence, and DWI, which is really bad, is 0.08. And so that's our level here, but there it's just absolutely nothing. So they're very strict about that, and I think it's partially because of the icy roads, which there was a lot of ice on the roads, but there wasn't really any snow. It was actually surprisingly warm. Anyway, I see I'm running low on time, so I'm just going to wrap this up by saying it was a really nice trip. Couchsurfing was a wonderful experience, and I'm already planning the next one, preferably in the summer this time. And have a really nice day out on YouTube. Don't get to the weird parts. Bye!